Before I start, I want to thank World of Warships for sponsoring this video. Hi, I'm Arthur, and this is part 6 in a 20-part series I am doing on successor chapters that sprung up from the original legions. I'm covering Second Founding, or as close to the Second Founding as I can get. Do you need to have seen the prior videos to understand this one? No, but it would make me happy. The topic of today is going to be tough to cover. I have written 3 different scripts and recorded twice, and each time I didn't like the end result. It did not have the flair that I usually like to project towards all of you. Before I get into why, I just want to give a moment to the sponsor of this video. I'm a bit of a sucker for naval battles, so when World of Warships approached me, I was pretty jazzed about working with them. I already have a decent amount of experience with the game. Suffice to say, there are none that do it better than them. It's free to play and updated constantly, so it stimulates that part of your brain that craves new stimuli like a rat in a cage looking for enrichment. To make things even more hardcore, gods of metal MEGADETH are colliding with World of Warships to have a massive collab in their latest promotion. So when you click my link in the description to sign up, use code MEGADETH to receive a starter pack including 200 doubloons, 500,000 credits, 7 days premium account time, Vic Rattlehead Commander, and a ship. Speaking of, the game itself has many different ship classes, each with their own specialisms, so you can find one that fits your playstyle pretty easily. With an incredibly dedicated community of fans, and it being available on mobile, PC, and console, you have no reason to not be playing this game. Once again, click the link in the description and use code MEGADETH to receive your starter pack and jump right into the fray. Thanks again to World of Warships for sponsoring this video. That out of the way, I have some splaining to do, because the endless amounts of theories I have been pondering, discussing, and screaming about have all ended with failure after failure, followed by me having more discussions with other individuals about how I could write this and do even more research as to who they are and what they are. So, as a bygone era in the early 90s and late 80s, GW wanted to make it so that all miniatures could be used in all ways, making it a bit more open for people to do as they wish. So it's from this idea that the Fallen were created, so you could use regular Dark Angels models and make them into Chaos Dark Angels models. The whole model of marketing different successor chapters is for this express purpose. You might not like these shiny red boys, but do you like these shiny red boys? It's why 40k as a business has succeeded so much. I've tampered around with a bunch of other war games, but a lot of them kind of miss the point. How many times have you looked at another war game and just not liked any of the other factions? G-Dubs got you covered because they just allow you to make your own fun. Allow you to play pretend even. So where am I going with all this? Well, for the most part, it extends to all factions aside from like maybe the Black Templars, but that is a topic for another day. Which may be sooner rather than later, wink wink. The topic of today is a faction that has been around for a while, but has kind of been forgotten. But I have an interesting theory, so follow me on this. Are you familiar with Skyrar's Dark Wolves? Yeah. A little hang-on from eons ago that are totally Chaos Spatials. I know it says they might not, but fuck off. Look at them. Powder blue plus Norse naming conventions plus wolf. It's obvious. So what we know about them isn't too much. It's essentially they may be a branch off of the forgotten great company of Space Wolves. Allegedly, they were sent on a suicide mission, and instead of succeeding and doing that die thing they were supposed to, they ended up siding with Chaos so they could do that live thing. It does make sense. Space Wolves at the best of times are impulsive and brash, so when you're told, no, you done diddly did the fucker upper, now go into the fire pit, you could see how righteous indignation could spring out from this, right? Their minds and bodies corrupted and so on, leaving them as a husk of chaos to be used at the leisure of whatever demon likes furries the most. Yes, the furry joke is played out as fuck, just let me have this one. But What if this was all a bunch of nonsensical bullshit that was used as a mixture of a red herring and foreshadowing for one of the darkest events to ever occur in the entire setting? To understand where I'm going with this, I need to set the stage of two things. So, first thing is, the Dark Wolves are known for having ludicrous amounts of ancient tanks, like Fellblades, Sicarans, Kratos, and the like. No one truly knows where they got them, only that it's really weird that a Chaos Warband of any size has these weapons outside of maybe the Black Legion, as they still have a few remnants of their old armory still around. Then we have to ask ourselves, how would their Primarch feel? Or rather, where the fuck is Leman Russ? Well, after the Siege of Terra was dead and gone, he was incredibly disappointed that he was misled into almost killing one of his other brothers, instead of completely killing one of his brothers, but also that he missed the whole battle during the Siege of Terra. So this guilt and shame ended up with him being bitter about everything. One day, he just decided to take his best warriors and leave with a bunch of gear on planes and shit to the Eye of Terror to have the greatest war of all time. Hold the fucking phone. Here is where shit gets wacky. I propose a theory to you. What if the Dark Wolves that come from the Eye of Terror have little to nothing to do with the Lost Great Company? What if it is instead that Leman Russ ended up being in the Eye of Terror for so long that himself, as well as his warriors that he took with him, ended up falling to chaos? No man is completely safe from chaos, especially in the Eye. Horus himself was a staunch super atheist until one dude stabbed him with a poop knife, and he got lost in the chaos K-hole almost immediately. So, would it be understandable for Leman Russ to go a bit too berserk one day when fighting demons and have his sons go along with him? It does make sense, but here is where I compound it. Outside of the Eye of Terror, it is nigh impossible to corrupt the sons of Russ. So, how is it that an entire faction of duders used to going on suicidal charges ended up falling to chaos when sent on a suicidal charge to redeem their honor? Easy. What if their dad was just there and offered them a chance at redemption and further glory? You just gotta work for chaos, you know? No big deal. It explains the old tanks and shit because Leman obviously brought some with him, and the fact that this faction exists is a testament to the possible corruptibility of the Space Wolves as a whole. But could you imagine? We are all here waiting for Demon Fulgrim to appear, but just to make the setting darker than it ever has been in the entirety of its existence, Demon Primarch, Evil Corn, Wolfen, Werewolf, Leman Russ comes out of the fucking warp with an armada of evil werewolf berserkers. The hit to morale in the entirety of the setting would be insane. The Lion himself would probably need to start taking Super Prozac to be able to get out of the bed in the morning. The logistics of fighting an extra Demon Primarch would be fucking interesting, because Leman was the executioner of Primarchs. He was supposed to be good at killing Space Marines and or his brothers just in case any of them fell out of line. So, what would be the greatest hunt of all if not for him to fight the remaining loyalist Primarchs? I think him returning with old-ass legionaries from the Horus Heresy who were loyal and turned traitor would probably shake up the setting so much that it would probably bring a new age to 40k. Now, the question you are all thinking is this possible? And the answer is fucking no. Are you insane? You know how fucking vindictive Warhammer players are? GW said you can't run generic dreadnoughts or Forge World minis in competitive anymore. Not open narrative or just playing with the homies, just competitively, and people started lighting actual fires because of this. So telling loyal Space Wolves that their faction leader isn't going to be playable for them unless they choose to side with Chaos is going to have likely the same result. Also, GW is allergic to fun, so there is that. So, that out of the way, Skyrar's Dark Wolves are a very interesting faction, whichever way you look at it. It also gives you kind of a shitty paint scheme to paint your Marines if you like that. Okay, listen, powder blue, coal black, and neon red do not mix, just Just trust me, it doesn't look good on the tabletop. But what do you think of the Dark Wolves? Cool? Lame? Enjoy my theory on them? Nah? Okay, I understand. Regardless, let me know what you think in the comments. Also, remember to like and subscribe as it helps the channel immensely. And I also want to thank my channel members for supporting me for yet another month. And if you want to see my content early or get access to exclusive content, then become a channel member today. Before I go, I just want to say, wouldn't Chaos Thunderwolf Cavalry be fucking dope? Shit's like Norse caveman Ghost Rider.